Hi everyone, welcome back to Learn English with Erica. Today we are going to be talking about pronunciation and intonation. So one of my subscribers asked if I could do a video on how to pronounce American English. There's a rhythm, and certain words are stressed and certain words are not, just like in music. So you have to know kind of the beat of American English. So are you ready to learn? So let's start with a simple sentence. I want to go to the store. Okay, I'm American, so if you're listening really carefully, you might be able to hear the stress, but a lot of people can't. So the robotic version, the normal version would be, I want to go to the store, right? Perfect pronunciation. So when I say it as an American, I'm stressing certain words, right? So I want to go to the store. Okay, so the important words I'm stressing. I want to go to the store. So do you hear the kind of rhythm, the beat? Let's try another one. Here's the plain version. She went to the market yesterday. She went to the market yesterday. Okay? She went to the market yesterday. She went to the market yesterday. So do you hear how the beat goes? She went to the market yesterday. Let's try another one. We need to finish this project. We need to finish this project. Now, let's do it with the stress. We need to finish this project. We need to finish this project. Do you hear the beats? Are you getting the hang of it? Okay, let's try 3 more sentences. I'll say it just normal with no intonation, okay? And then I will say it as I would say it as an American, okay? I have a lot of homework. I have a lot of homework. I have a lot of homework. You try it. Next one. He doesn't know what to do. 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 Okay. Last one. They aren't going to like it. They aren't going to like it, right? They aren't going to like it. They aren't going to like it. They aren't going to like it. Okay, do you hear how some words are stressed and some fall back, right? So that's what you have to think about when you're trying to practice these sentences. What are the important words? How does the rhythm go? Okay, how does the rhythm go? And that will give you more of an American accent. Are you ready to learn some more? Okay, the next part has to do with the schwa. The schwa. So this sound in English is probably the most important and the most confusing, right? So there's some vowels, A, E, I, O, U, that are pronounced how they're supposed to be pronounced. But in English, the schwa is like an right? So if you've heard an English speaker say something like, instead of a book, a flag, English speakers from America at least will say a book, a flag. So that is the schwa sound. So when a vowel isn't important, okay, it kind of converts into an Okay, so for example, let's look at the sentence, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Okay, if the schwa comes into play, right? So we have what, we have the in there. Do becomes like, when you put what do, what a, and then you, ya, want to do. Okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Okay, so want, it has the short A in it, want, to do, right? What do you? What do you want to do? So some of those vowels are converted into schwa sound, right? Let's try it again with a different sentence. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go. I'm gonna go. So the going to is going to be gonna. I'm gonna go. I'm going to go. I'm gonna go. Let's try another one. I have to leave. 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 Right? So the have to leave. I have to leave. So still we have that rhythm, but our vowels are kind of fading into the background. And when they fade into the background, a lot of times they sound like the schwa, which is just the I have to. Instead of I have to go, I have to go. Okay? I know it's tricky and confusing, right? But they don't teach this in textbooks, right? So that's why I'm trying to explain it the best that I can here for you guys. How about let me see? Let me see. So you're not going to say let me see, let me see, let me see. So in there, the T completely disappears. Let me see, right? So the vowels there dropped into the background, the T dropped off, smushed together, right? I don't know. I don't know. He wouldn't say, I don't know. He would say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's the schwa again. Give me a second. Give me a second. Right? And here, the give and the me are kind of going to squish together for gimme, and not a second, but a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. How are you doing so far? I know I'm throwing a lot at you. Ready for the next part? I'm going to give you 5 practice sentences. I will say them completely clearly first. Then I will say them a little bit more naturally, and then I'll say them fast so you can kind of hear the progression. And you can replay this as many times as you want to practice, because the more you hear it, the more you say it, the more natural you'll sound. Okay, the first one. I'm going to the store. 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 To the. So my mouth doesn't even barely open when I say to the, right? All right, the next one. What are you doing later? 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 Okay. I have to talk to him. 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 Did you get it? 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 I want to go home. 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 So practice those as many times as you need. It will get easier, I promise. And one day when you're listening to English, trying to speak it, you'll hear that rhythm of the American English, and you'll see how some words are squished together and some vowels drop into the background, like the schwa, the okay? So now you know that there is a name for it in English. They don't teach it in regular grammar books, like with the vowels A, E, I, O, U. It's just the schwa, and it's the sound. All right, ready for the next part? Okay, the next part, we're going to talk about intonation. So intonation, there's really 3 mixes, right? So the first one is a falling intonation. That is when your voice kind of drops. It's when you're making statements, right? When you just want to say something like, I'm going home. I'm going home. Nothing interesting really. I'm going home. So it's my intonation is falling. That's fine. That's fine, right? So I start here and then I go down. I know. I know, right? So those are falling intonations. Those are just for statements. So that's typically how Americans will say something that's not a question, right? The intonation will drop. Now, there's the rising intonation, and that's used for questions, usually yes, no questions. So you might say, call your friend and say, are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, or did you call her? Did you call her? Or is that yours? Is that yours? Right? So if it's a question that can be answered with yes or no, your voice is going to rise. Okay? And then there's other situations when you want to show some sort of emotion. Okay? These could be questions, they could be exclamations, it could be really anything where you want to show emotion. Okay? So, for example, you're going, okay? If you say it like with emotion, you're going, right? So it's kind of like this, right? Or really, right? So it's not really rising or falling, it's a mix, right? That's amazing, right? So we're rising and falling. So you do that when you want to show emotion in what you're saying, right? And you can practice this by exaggerating, right? You're going? Really? That's amazing, right? So your voice, your intonation is going up and down, okay? And intonation also changes meanings, right? So let's take, for example, you're coming, you are coming, right? If you say it as a statement, it's going to be more like flat, you're coming. So that's the rise, fall, right? You're coming, right? So it's a statement, no question, right? Or you're coming, right? See how I'm kind of varying my voice, rising and falling? Okay, that's like surprise. I'm so surprised. You're coming, right? Up and down, showing emotion, right? You're coming, like it's a question. You're coming, right? You're coming, or you're coming. Do you hear the difference, right? So one phrase using different intonation has different meanings. It can show whether you're making a statement, a question, or you're kind of excited about it or surprised, right? Let's try that's interesting. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting. Maybe you're bored. That's interesting. It's just a statement, nothing interesting, right? Or that's interesting. That's interesting, right? Up and down. Or that's interesting, right? Also, an emotion, maybe I'm a little suspicious. That's interesting, right? So depending on your intonation, it kind of gives a clue to the listener how you're feeling about what you're saying, right? So let's put everything together now. Okay, so now let's take some two-part sentences and link them together, right? So in English, we have what's called simple sentences and compound sentences. Compound sentences are just basically two little sentences put into one. So when you're linking thoughts or linking sentences together, connecting them, we have to use all these things that we just learned, okay? So first of all, we have to figure out which words are stressed, if there's words that need to get squished together, if there's vowels that need to drop into the background with that SCHWA or some other softer vowel. So let's practice these two sentences. I'm going to give you the sentence without too much stress. I'm going to try not to do any intonation, and then you guys can practice and see, and then I'll say it how I would say it in American English, okay? I went to the store and I bought some milk. I went to the store and I bought some milk. Okay, Try it yourself. See if you can put the stress. Where would you put the stress? How would you use intonation here? Now, this is a statement. It's not a question, so keep that in mind. I'll give you 1 minute. Well, I'll give you a couple seconds, and then I'll say it. Okay. I went to the store and I bought some milk. I went to the store and I bought some milk. Do you hear where I'm stressing? Now you try it. Okay, now let's try 2 sentences squished together with another 2 sentences squished together. Okay, 2-part sentences. So try this. Yesterday I went to the store and I ran into an old friend. Try that. I'll give you another minute. Okay, try this. Yesterday I went to the store and I ran into an old friend. Yesterday I went to the store and I ran into an old friend. We started talking, and before I knew it, an hour had passed. You try that. We started talking, and before I knew it, an hour had passed. We started talking, and before I knew it, an hour had passed. How did you do? Okay, now let's try a couple phrases, sentences, and work on our intonation a bit. Okay, how about this one? What are you doing tonight? What are you doing tonight? How would you say that in American English? See how yours sounded. What are you doing tonight? What are you doing tonight? What are you doing tonight? Now try this one. I have a lot of work to finish. I have a lot of work to finish. How do you think that's going to sound in American English? I have a lot of work to finish. 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 Okay, and the last one. I thought you were going out. I thought you were going out. This one, you're going to have an intonation that goes up at the end because you're not so much making a statement as questioning what you thought, right? I thought you were going out. I thought you were going out. I thought you were going out. Thought you were going out. Okay, we're going to try one last paragraph, like sentences smushed together. I'll say it very plainly, robotically, and you guys will see if you can put it together and say it American English style. Okay. I was thinking about going to the gym, but I didn't really feel like it. So I decided to stay home and relax instead. Go ahead and try that. Okay, now I'm going to try it American style. Listen to the rhythm, okay? I was thinking about going to the gym, but I didn't really feel like it. So I decided to stay home and relax instead. I was thinking about going to the gym, but I didn't feel like it. So I decided to stay home and relax instead. Hopefully you can hear the difference, the stress, the rhythm of how I would say a sentence versus maybe how you would read it at first. So if you want to sound more American, make sure that you're practicing this. Play this video 2 or 3 times a week and practice saying it how I said it. It's not just about pronunciation. If you master rhythm and intonation and not just focus on pronunciation, everything changes. So practice this video, leave me a comment. How did you do on this? What's the most difficult for you? What did you learn? what was like the point in the video that you were like, oh, okay, I understand it now. And if you want me to do more videos like this, just let me know. Put it in the comments. See you next time.